Let us begin with a truth too often ignored. Nothing in life happens by accident. Every encounter, every challenge, every opportunity, and yes, even this very momentus arrived for a reason. You were drawn to this message not by chance, but by a call deep within you, a call for more, a call for clarity, a call to rise. You did not stumble upon this message. It found you because you've been asking consciously or not for something greater. Maybe you felt stuck. Maybe your vision has been clouded by fear, fatigue, or failure. But still, somewhere beneath the noise of doubt, your spirit whispered, there has to be more. And there is. Right now, you are being reminded of something you've always known, even if you forgot. You were made to succeed, not just to survive, not to drift through life hoping things turn around, but to take control, to decide what you want, and go after it with such intensity that the world cannot help but respond. There is a law that governs success, and it is always at work. That law says, what you think about consistently, you move toward. What you believe about yourself becomes true. What you expect from life is exactly what it delivers. So if you've been expecting hardship, you've been attracting it. If you've been thinking small, you've been living small. But that can change now if you choose it. This video is your reminder. It is a signal from within a voice that says, you are not powerless, you are not broken, you are not behind, you are right on time. And everything you need to begin again, to take your next step, to build the life you want, it's already within you. But it cannot be accessed through fear. It must be unlocked through faith, through decision, and through action. The greatest trap is not failure. The greatest trap is hesitation. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence while your life passes by. But greatness isn't achieved through perfection. It's achieved through motion, through courage, through the refusal to quit. The future does not belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who act. And now the question is simple. What will you do with this moment? Will you let it fade, or will you allow it to awaken something in you? Will you let it remind you that you are the creator of your reality, that your thoughts are power, and that your actions shape your destiny? This video found you because something inside of you is ready to rise, ready to remember who you are, ready to do what you've been avoiding, ready to live, not just exist. You've waited long enough. Now move like it's already yours. Nothing happens by accident. That is a truth most people overlook in the noise of everyday life. We are taught to believe that life is a string of random events, that moments of significance are rare and unpredictable. But when you begin to pay attention, to truly observe the patterns in your life, you'll see that certain moments arrive with precision. A word at the right time, a challenge that shapes you, an opportunity that shows up just when you were ready to give up. These are not coincidences. They are part of a greater design. And they arrive because your inner world has called them into being. Every person reaches a point where they start to question where they are, who they are becoming, and what comes next. That questioning sends out a signal, an energetic request for clarity, for guidance, for breakthrough. And life, when asked with sincerity and conviction, responds. It sends messages, people, and moments into your path that are meant to remind you of who you truly are. This is one of those moments. You didn't land here by mistake. This message found you because you needed to hear something to reignite your awareness, to remind you of your own power, to stir something in your spirit that has been too quiet for too long. When people begin to understand that everything holds meaning, their perspective shifts. They begin to treat each moment with more reverence. They begin to trust the timing of their lives. The frustration they once felt about delays, detours, or disappointments starts to fade when they realize those were not rejections, they were redirections. Not every door is meant to open. Not every person is meant to stay, but every experience, especially the difficult ones, comes bearing a lesson, a revelation, or a transformation. There are no neutral moments. Everything is shaping you. Everything is molding your mindset, building your resilience, or calling you to grow. Even this hearing these words right now is a reflection of something stirring within you, a shift, a new level, a new direction. The very fact that you are seeking motivation, truth, or a deeper meaning is proof that you are moving into alignment with something greater. Your desires are not random. They are connected to your purpose, and life has a way of responding when your inner desire matches your willingness to act. Too often, people ignore these nudges. They call them chance, overlook their importance, or assume it's just another piece of content. But those who grow, those who break free from limitation, those who rise into their vision, they're the ones who listen. They lean in. They treat the moment as sacred. They understand that when something finds you at just the right time, it's because it was sent. And when something is sent to you, it carries within it an invitation, an opportunity, a decision, one that could change everything. You are meant for more. That quiet sense you've carried deep within you, the feeling that you're capable of something greater, that your life is meant to be more than what you've settled for, is not a fantasy. It's not wishful thinking or an illusion. It's the truth of who you are trying to break through the surface. That inner pull, that restless energy, is the voice of potential. It's the part of you that refuses to be silenced by fear, failure, or the opinions of others. It exists because your purpose is real. Your power is real. And the life you dream of is not only possible, it is waiting for you to rise to meet it. Most people drift because they've been conditioned to believe they are limited. They're told to be realistic, to play it safe, to do what's expected. Over time, that message gets internalized, and they begin to shrink their dreams to fit the world around them instead of expanding their mindset to create the world they desire. But every once in a while, something cuts through the noise. A moment, a challenge, a truth that speaks directly to the part of them that still remembers that they were made for more than just paying bills, fitting in, and going through the motions. You weren't made to live a life of quiet frustration or hidden potential. You were made to create, to grow, to rise, and to lead. There is something unique in you that no one else has. Your perspective, your experiences, your voice, your vision, all of it was given to you for a reason. You are not here by accident. The fact that you exist, with the thoughts you think and the dreams you hold, is proof that there is a space in this world that only you can fill. And the more you delay stepping into that space, the more you rob yourself and the world of the light only you can offer. There is no fulfillment in staying small. There is no joy in hiding your gifts, playing it safe, or ignoring the fire within you. That fire was placed there to guide you, to push you, to pull you towards something higher. And while the journey won't always be easy, it will always be worth it. Because every step you take toward the life you were meant to live brings you closer to the version of yourself you were always meant to become. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need validation to believe in your vision. What you need is a decision to stop settling, a decision to stop doubting, a decision to stop waiting for the right time or the right feeling and instead act on the truth that has been calling you for far too long. The truth that you are capable of doing extraordinary things, not because someone told you so, but because it's already in you, waiting to be activated. Your thoughts shape your reality. Every result you experience, every relationship you build, every level of success or failure you encounter begins first in the mind. What you consistently dwell upon, believe in, and expect from the world around you forms the blueprint for the life you are living. Most people assume their thoughts are merely background noise, harmless and disconnected from action. But in truth, thoughts are the first cause. They are the origin of belief, and belief becomes behavior. Behavior then becomes habit, and habit shapes your outcomes. It all begins with what you allow to dominate your mind. The world you see outside is a reflection of what has been going on inside. When a person holds a vision of themselves as strong, capable, and worthy, their actions naturally align with that vision. They speak with conviction. They pursue goals with confidence. They persist through difficulty because their internal picture tells them they are the kind of person who overcomes. On the other hand, if someone believes they are not enough, that the odds are against them, or that success is only for others, their behavior reflects those limitations. They hesitate, procrastinate, and self-sabotage not because they lack talent, but because their thoughts have programmed them to expect less from life. You do not get what you want. You get what you expect. And expectations are rooted in your thoughts. When you wake up each day expecting delays, failures, and frustration, you will unconsciously look for evidence to confirm those thoughts. Your focus becomes biased, your energy becomes scattered, and you start to attract exactly what you fear. But when you wake up with a sense of purpose, with a mind fixed on opportunity and progress, your entire energy shifts. You speak differently, you walk differently, you take action with a different intensity. You begin to move in alignment with the outcomes you desire. This is not just theory, it is law. The mind moves first, and the world responds. The great achievers of history understood this. Before the victory, before the invention, before the wealth, they first saw it in their mind's eye. They trained themselves to think in alignment with their vision even when the physical evidence told them otherwise. They held on to thoughts of success while surrounded by failure. They maintained thoughts of abundance while facing lack. And eventually, the world caught up with what their mind had already accepted as true. Your mind is a tool. You can use it to build, or you can allow it to destroy. You can train it to focus on problems, or you can condition it to seek solutions. You can feed it doubt, or you can fuel it with belief. Whatever you choose, your mind will follow and your life will mirror it. The choice is not made, one seat is made every day. With every thought you allow to stay and every thought you choose to let go. You already have everything you need. This is one of the most empowering and often overlooked truths a person can realize. In a world that constantly tells you to seek, to acquire, to chase after more in order to become enough, it's easy to believe that you are lacking. But the truth is not found in external validation, possessions, or approval. The truth is that everything you require to move forward, to grow, to succeed is already within you. The strength, the vision, the discipline, the creativity, it's all there, waiting to be uncovered and activated by your decision to trust yourself. People often postpone action, believing they need more education, more money, more time, or someone else's permission to begin. But this mindset only delays progress and feeds doubt. Growth does not begin when everything is perfect. It begins when you make use of what you already have. The person who wins is rarely the one with the best tools, but the one who uses what's in their hands with purpose and consistency. You don't need to know every step. You need only to take the next one with belief. And that belief comes not from something outside of you, but from within. You were born with potential. Every experience you've lived through, every failure, every win, every hardship has built you. It has prepared you. Life has been shaping you even when you didn't know it. The challenges you faced gave you wisdom. The setbacks gave you resilience. The moments you felt lost helped you develop clarity. All of it has led you to this very point. And the moment you stop waiting for someone or something to complete you is the moment you begin to access the power you've always carried. There is no special formula, no hidden secret that others have and you don't. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is the decision to move forward with what they have. It's the courage to act without certainty. It's the commitment to keep going, even when the voice of doubt tries to convince them they're not ready. That commitment strengthens the inner foundation. It builds confidence, not from outcomes, but from the realization that you are enough right now, not someday. You do not need to become someone else. You need to become more of who you truly are. The part of you that knows how to rise when life pushes you down. The part that envisions more even when the world tries to convince you to settle. That part is not weak or incomplete. It's powerful. But it must be believed in. It must be nurtured. And it must be given the space to lead. When you understand that nothing outside of you is holding you back, you begin to see the truth. You stop chasing things to fill a void and start building from a place of strength. You stop doubting your timing and start trusting your preparation. You stop comparing and start creating. The moment you look inward, everything changes outward. The enemy is hesitation, not failure. It is not falling short that keeps most people from reaching their potential. It is the fear of trying. It is the doubt that creeps in just before action, the voice that says, what if it doesn't work? Or what if I'm not ready? That paralyzes more dreams than any external force ever could. People often believe that failure is what they should avoid, but failure is just feedback. It is a teacher, a guide, a necessary part of the journey. Hesitation, however, is silent. It disguises itself as caution, patience, or perfectionism, but it is none of those things. It is fear wearing a mask. Hesitation convinces you to wait for the right time. It tells you that more information, more resources, or more confidence is needed before you begin. But what it never tells you is that time doesn't wait, that every delay becomes a habit, and that the life you want slips further away every time you choose comfort over courage. You don't grow by preparing forever. You grow by moving forward while you're still uncertain. You learn by doing. You build belief through action. Confidence is not a prerequisite, it is a result. The person who moves, even imperfectly, will always go further than the person who waits for everything to line up. Most breakthroughs do not come with clarity at the start. They come from doing the work, facing the fear, and building momentum. Motion breeds clarity. Action opens doors. But hesitation shuts them. It keeps you in the same cycle, repeating the same thoughts, avoiding the same risks, and wondering why nothing changes. The truth is, change doesn't happen until you decide it must. Failure is part of progress. Every successful person has failed, often repeatedly, but they did not allow failure to define them. They used it, they studied it, they built upon it. Hesitation offers no such opportunity. It robs you of experience. It keeps you standing at the edge of your life, looking in but never fully stepping into it. And over time, that kind of hesitation becomes regret, not because of what went wrong, but because of what was never attempted. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act in spite of it. It is understanding that fear will always exist, that doubt will always whisper, and that obstacles will always show up but still moving forward. It is choosing to bet on yourself even when the outcome is uncertain. Every step you take silences hesitation. Every move forward builds inner strength. It doesn't matter if you stumble. What matters is that you refuse to stay still. Progress demands risk. Growth demands discomfort. Every great achievement was once an idea followed by bold, decisive action. The longer you hesitate, the louder the doubt becomes. But the moment you act, even in small ways, you begin to shift. You create momentum, and with momentum comes possibility. Each act of courage pushes hesitation further into the background and brings your potential closer to reality. This is your call to rise. You have felt it for a while now, that subtle, persistent inner voice urging you to do more, be more, step forward in a way you've been avoiding. It's not loud or dramatic, but it doesn't go away. It lingers in quiet moments, when the world is silent and you're left alone with your thoughts. It shows up when you see someone else living freely, doing what you dream of doing. It appears when you've had enough of settling, when you realize that playing small is no longer comfortable. That voice is not your imagination, it is your truth. Life will never push you into greatness, it will only ever invite you. And that invitation often comes in moments like this, moments when you are given the chance to remember what you're capable of. You don't need another sign, you don't need more time to prepare, you don't need everything to be perfect, you need to decide. You need to respond to the call that has already been placed on your life. The discomfort you feel when you think about where you are compared to where you know you could be is not something to ignore. It is fuel, it is fire,